Celebrate the 43-year reign of the speed metal kings, Metallica. With 9 Grammy Awards and 14 nominations, 38 concert tours worldwide, and 11 studio albums that span 4 decades, the Titans of Thrash remain the standard by which all other metal is measured. We begin with a 1984 classic from their second album, For Whom the Bell Tolls, followed by the 1992 tour anthem, Wherever I May Roam. And then, let's turn down the house and light up the stage for the Auburn University Marching Band and their show, Metallica.
It's Wednesday night again, and that means it's time for Auburn Family Night. This is the show each and every week on E2C Network where you, our audience, the Auburn family, takes center stage. We're going to take your comments, your questions, your topics, and of course, it's call-in night, so your calls. Let's get into all those different things right now. War Eagle, everybody, welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we get together, we sit down, we discuss, we share the Auburn experience, all about Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff. An easier way to say it, though, if it's orange and blue, it's what we do. So thank you so much for joining us and what we're going to be doing this Wednesday evening, fine Wednesday evening for Auburn Family Night. The granddaddy of them all here at E2C Network, the show that is more about anything else, you, the audience, the Auburn family. We're going to get into it. All the things that you want to discuss in the Auburn space of sports, culture, and family. And hopefully we'll hear from plenty of you tonight via the phone lines because my voice will need it, as you can tell already. With that being said, let's get started here. I want to start off by encouraging you to make sure that you take advantage of all aspects of tonight, the live chat, the call link, double click. That's a different place. Hit that like button, the share button, let people know that you are watching live right now so that they can know that this is a value, so they know that we are live, and they can participate and have fun with us this evening as well. And we'll get into anything that anybody hops in here and wants to talk about this evening. And there's plenty of things to talk about, as there always is, but especially tonight. We do want to start off by, again, acknowledging our sponsor for Auburn Family Night for the next several weeks and months here, and that's barnersupply.com. You'll see their logo down in the bottom left of our corner there. I'm wearing some of their gear, the Work Hard Work hat, or I believe I should say in Work Hard Work hat. Check that out, barnersupply.com. We've got their link in our description. If you need that link directly from us, you can certainly email that to us as well. We're an affiliate of theirs, and so we would encourage you to shop with them to support us, but to support them as well. They are a fine Auburn company of apparel and much more that knows how to barn hard. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Bammers. We take on the barning mantra that y'all mean as a slur. We're good with it. We're proud of it. Ag-based stuff is what makes the world go round, and we are excited about it here. So barn hard, barn out with barnersupply.com. All right. So Auburn Family Night. It's going to be an interesting one because we are balancing a bunch of different things right now. If you were live with us earlier in the day, you saw the Auburn Basketball post-game stream, and we had fun with that. Auburn did win in Mississippi State, so we can certainly carry over some of that here today. I know what you'll mainly be focused on from this point is tomorrow with Tennessee, and yes, we will be doing, as far as I know, a post-game stream tomorrow. I say that a lot sometimes because, you know, life just hits you. As many of you know, I was sick this weekend, and I'm surprised I even got the 8 minutes out of the Auburn, Alabama basketball post game that I did. So, yeah, there's that. That's why I always kind of leave things up to chance and up to that kind of thing. So we can talk about that. Baseball is firing on all cylinders. That's why we've got both of those things in our title tonight. But it doesn't have to be about those two things. It can be about spring football coming up. It doesn't have to be sports related. It can be culture related, all those things. We really want to just dive into what you want to talk about. So the phone lines are now open. So if you'd like to, you can start utilizing that. And again, provided by our friends by barnersupply.com. So check that out. And we would love to hear from you in the phone link because it'll give me a chance to rest my voice tonight. So that's my personal plea to you guys tonight so that I can rest that from time to time. All right, let's see here. Got a couple people already checking in with us. Good to see all of you fine folks. Thanks for checking in. He says he forgot it was Wednesday, but you made it here. Good to see you, Sam and WT. The party has begun. Let people WT. You should also go into the, if you haven't already, into the Discord and tell these folks in the Discord, where are they? Get their butts in here tonight. It's Auburn Family Night, right? All right. In fact, I'm going to do that official here. WT, it is, and he didn't ask for this, and he doesn't have to do this, but I'm going to say it's his responsibility to tell people, get their butts in there on Auburn Family Night, who haven't showed up quite just yet. Maybe they're arriving, but we'll see. All right. Sam says, what do you think the biggest factor in beating Tennessee tomorrow? I think it'll be rebounds and 3-point shooting. Sam, I am going to be 100% boring on all of this every single time this question is answered to me in relation to basketball. The most important stats, which you've already hit on one of them, is free throws, turnovers, and rebounds. And the reason I stress those so much is because if you can handle those three facets of the game and yes, win them, but win them with a little bit more of a margin of victory than you see sometimes, the rest of that stuff can somewhat be, not I want to say nullified, but managed. Now, if you have someone pop off for 46 points, Josh Hubbard in the first matchup with Auburn, not today, that kind of hurts those statistics a little bit. But to me, it will always be, Sam, about turnovers, free throws, and rebounds. Free throws especially because they are free. Turnovers, you have to expend a little bit of effort to create them, unless they're just a really bad team that just likes to throw the ball away, which everybody does from time to time. Rebounds, you definitely have to expend some effort as well. So that is why I will stress on that. I'm not saying there aren't other important factors. To be completely honest with you, Sam, I haven't watched Tennessee much since we played them so long ago. So unfortunately, I don't really have a strong feeling towards a one particular stat that would be most important specifically against Tennessee. But if you will focus on those three, being so effective with how you're taking care of the ball and turnovers, how you are taking advantage of those free throws, and just effort, desire on rebounds, that's going to take you far there. Let's see here. Mr. War Eagle G27 checking in with us. Hope we can beat Tennessee. I hope so as well. Mr. Thomas Manville checking in with us. Good to see you, sir, from the good town of Leeds, Alabama, home of the Buckies I often stop at when I don't stop at Austin. Oh, no, I can see all the Discord messages. I unleashed the beast, WT. Just do the one, WT. Don't pound them too much. I can see all the messages going through of him getting on to people. That's funny. All right, let's see. Kyle, is it true that you told Austin you did not trust him with your baby, the Auburn experience without you? That's absolutely not true. So what he's referencing here, we did not do the Auburn experience this week because I was, again, sick. I know. We need to put that in a jar every time I mention it now, because I feel like it does. I mention it a lot. Did you know got sick, by the way? And he was joking when I announced it in the Discord that I wasn't going to make it that night, or Austin made the joke that I just wouldn't trust him with it. It's actually completely untrue. In fact, I've tried to get him to do it before, and he hadn't taken the opportunity yet. Now, in all seriousness, had I given him more of an update, I'd be fully excited to see what an Austin run show would look like. I think it would actually be quite entertaining. And in fact, there was one time very early on that we had plans while I was going to be gone on vacation or something for Austin and one of his buddies to do one of the shows without me. And it ended up, that person ended up canceling, and it just got all out of whack. And we said, that's fine. Just let it be. But so we've tried it before, but it's not from a lack of trust. Sam says, I was at the Tennessee game when we played them this year. The rebounds were what we were lacking in. So with one body of work, Auburn versus Tennessee, you can certainly point to that as a way to make Auburn more effective versus them. The problem is that game going to transpire the exact same way this second time around? The answer is no. So you don't know if that's going to be the thing that you have to like focus in on against Tennessee this time. Everybody plays every game different. Josh Hubbard went for 46 the first game we played him. He only went for 22 today, I think is what it was. So it just changes from game to game. That's why I tell you, you can, make your pick on what stats the most important going to be for the game or a prediction, but I will always harp on free throws, rebounds, turnovers in some variants of that order. All right, we got our first caller ready. We'll get him in just a second. Let's get through some of our questions here today. So hang tight right there in the green room, and we'll get to you. Let's see. Hunter says, what are your thoughts on the disciplinary actions dealt out by Stephen Pearl? Not often you see star players being benched in today's game across any sport. Absolutely agree and glad that is what he did. I think most people would agree that it is the right decision. You may not like it in terms of timing or context around what's going on in the season and what might hurt you, but that's a coach that's thinking more beyond today. That's a coach that's thinking about longevity, and that's the type of coach I want, a coach that's trying to build a program, not just win one single game. Certainly you start by winning single games, but you get what I'm saying there. Let's see here. Yes, Leeds is home of the Bass Pro, but it's also home of the Buckies, though. What's up, Auburnator? I am feeling about as good as I did earlier, and hanging in there. My voice is probably not exactly the same, but there we go. He says, boo, don't go to Bucky's. Come on into town to Valley Feed and Seed, best gas station in town. Feed yourself and chickens. Well, there goes my Bucky's sponsorship I was hoping on. Thank you, Thomas. No, I think it's just a convenience thing for me. I'm sure there's other great things out there. Devin, check it in. What's cooking, Devin? Everybody's giving you the what's cooking. What's going on? This is from the Auburnator. Honestly, for the Tennessee game, I believe it will be similar to the first matchup. It's going to be high 60s, low 70s temperature. No, I'm just kidding. Auburn just has to make a couple of more shots and guard Bishop Boswell and Nate Ament. Keep adding things on there. Just do this. Just do that. Hey, if it's that simple, then you need to get that game plan over to Coach. And I'm sure they probably saw those things too. War Eagle G27, this is open mic night. So you call in. You don't have to ask. It is open for anybody. Auburnator says SP is better than he is credited for. Absolutely agree there. And yeah, it's never that simple. What's up with the orange light behind your bookcase? It looks like a fire. It's doing it again. It's kind of cool, isn't it, actually? No, first of all, I think I've got this a little lower than it normally is. Oh, that's too bright now. So you wouldn't have probably noticed that as much if it was just where brightness is now. Second of all, that situation of how I hope it's come through that I tried to get orange on this side of lighting and then blue. You see it less now with that backlight back there, which I loved for the longest time, but now I don't really like it. I promise y'all we have got some changes coming in here. I've got some ideas again. Excuse me. But yeah, it's old stuff. It's, it's what's happening. Oh, appreciate it. I'm glad you like the backdrop. It's going to change a little bit, but I do enjoy it. No, you didn't sound critical. It's just explaining what's going on there. Does it stop now? Oh, yeah, it was blinking because that's what makes it look like the fire is going on. Evan, good to see you, my man. And yeah. All right, we'll take a couple more questions. Then we're going to get to our caller who's been patiently waiting. So you guys can keep the questions and comments coming throughout all of this, but I'm just trying to spread out where our concentration is on this. Curious to your answer on this. Which player transfer early declaring for the draft was most painful for you to see, even if declaring was deserved but felt bittersweet in the moment? Is this across all sports for Auburn? Like all the ones that have happened, or are we talking about a specific sport, Hunter? I don't see a specifier in there. Knowing you, it's probably across all, but maybe give me a little bit of clarification there, and I'd be happy to answer that. There's a name that popped up in my head, but then that would be across all anyway, so I guess I could just answer it that way, but, let's see here. When is the tiger painting up for auction? You talking about that one right there? Believe it or was that you that offered to buy it, Sam, on TikTok, or was that somebody else? Somebody tried to get me to sell this to them, and I'm like, I just like it, I just like it. The traditionalist wants change. Crazy. Believe it or not, it does happen from time to time. The wife going to be okay with the changes? I mean, to be fair, she doesn't really have much say over this room. I asked for one room in the house to create as my man cave / office / studio. And yeah, that's what it is. What actually, sorry, you've got me on this now, and I need to move on from it. But what I'm thinking about doing is shifting the angle more into the corner a little bit. And it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We'll talk about it later. I don't need to get in the weeds on that real quick. Okay. Y'all keep the comments, questions. Micah, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in tonight, sir. Let's get to our first caller tonight. He's been very patient. You know who he is. One of the days y'all are going to beat him to it. It's happened before, but not very often. But you can't beat Mr. Kevin. What's going on, sir?
Look at this.
What is that? Is that a Auburn decal, or is that what is that?
Auburn decal, yeah.
What does that go on? Is it like meant for a helmet, or is it meant for a car?
No, where I put it on a piece of paper and I cut it out.
Okay, just wherever you want to use it, huh?
Yeah. How are you feeling better?
I'm mostly better. I still have a cough, but like in terms of not being able to stay awake, feeling tired or just, all that kind of stuff. I'm better in that sense. I can do the show.
Our men's basketball team, they fought hard today.
They did. Did you get to watch the game today? I know it's at a weird time, so did you get to watch?
Yeah, 2:00.
Are you going to get to watch tomorrow too?
Yeah, I hope we beat Tennessee. We need to.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's I hate the overuse of the term a must win. But yes, tomorrow is a must win to guarantee the continuation of your season. That's the only way to guarantee anything, no matter what your record is you must continue to win until there are no more games left to play. So tomorrow is a must win in many senses of the word.
And how many points did Kevin Overton had?
I think it was 22. Anybody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was 22 points today. How about Kevin Overton? He popped off again.
Yeah.
I think Kevin Overton, Kevin and Kevin, it just hit it. I think Kevin Overton is become our most consistent scorer. And what I mean by that is not only has he gotten better throughout the season, but he's done it more consistently than maybe even Tahad has done this season at times, and even more so than he did. He got revenge against his old team, which is good. So, yeah.
What did he do after he made that three-pointer?
Well, he did something that you call giving him the business. So he turned to the bench of his former teammates, and he said a few things to him. And the refs heard it, and they decided to tee him up, So it is what it is at this point.
Tee the ref up. They need to be teed up too.
Well, you're going to have to get the refs to tee one of their own up, and I just don't see that happening,
And I think all our wide receivers will have like 20 or more touchdown passes to them this year.
So you're saying across all of the wide receivers or each one of them?
Each one of them.
Well, Kevin, let me just put that. If each one of our wide receivers has more than 20 touchdowns, we will have set some type of record that will never, ever be touched. So I'm just going to step out there and say you might be stepping out yourself. But hey, if it happens, you called it here first.
And I told that Jeffrey Lee that Byron Brown will have like 20 touchdowns throwing to the wide receivers.
So you're saying 20 touchdowns throwing. How many running? Because he's a runner.
About 10.
Isn't that what Cam did? Somebody in the chat can confirm that
Well,
or not.
that's what Cam Newton did.
Yep. Excuse me. See, caught up with me there. Yeah. So I was going to say that's what sounds like something Cam Newton did. And here's where I think that's a little dangerous, Kevin.
Yeah.
Too often we try to compare people to Cam Newton, and then when we build those ideas in our head and they don't match up to it, then somehow like something was wrong. I say we just let the guy come in, do what he's going to do, be excited about his potential because he's shown at college, at the major college football level, maybe not power level yet, that he can do big things. What were you saying?
He can run and throw the passes too.
Yes, he can, and pass. If you've seen the movie, you know. What else you got on your mind tonight?
How many interceptions our defense will intercept?
I have no clue. I haven't even begun to think about that, buddy. If you're asking for predictions from me this early in the season, you're not going to get much out of me.
I think we do good in the 8A game.
Well, I would hope so. You know, it's pretty sad if you lose to yourself. I mean, you are going to be playing a game against one team versus the other on there, but you know, if you truly lose the game, it's kind of like
Matt Pearson.
Say that one more time.
Do we still have Matt Pearson?
Yes, we do. Yep. And I haven't heard an update on him as far as health. So I'm not sure if he is still continuing to get better and, you know, stronger in what his issues were. But I have no reason to think he hasn't.
How about our baseball team 14-2?
14-2, baby. Big win last night. Another run rule and big. Well, I mean, this series versus Missouri. What's that?
They play in Missouri Friday.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we all expect them to win the series, hopefully sweep it, but you never can just take things for granted. So,
and I hope our softball team beats Oklahoma too.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think we made it around all the major sports there, Kevin. So I want a prediction from you, sir, for tomorrow's game. How many points will Kevin Overton score tomorrow, whether Auburn wins or loses?
29.
29. If Kevin Overton's having a 29-point game, I think we're going to win. So I love it.
Yeah.
It's always good to hear from you, my friend. So thanks for your patience and for calling in tonight. War Eagle. Excuse me. Sorry, I didn't want to cough there at the end of this thing, but I had to save that to the end there. Anyway, good to hear from Kevin tonight. All right. Thanks, Kevin. You guys can call in too, and I would highly encourage you guys do that tonight. You know, one of the things that I think, and I get on this little soapbox, so forgive me every once in a while, but I would like you all to try to utilize it a little bit more. We've got our regulars like Kevin and Thomas does from time to time, but, you know, it does encourage others to get off of, you know, that scared seat, so to speak, because no one wants to admit it's scary to call in. I get it, but it is. Like, I've been in that seat before too. So even if you just want to call in to say, hey, it encourages others to take part in that, this would be a good night to try it too, to give me a break from my voice if you can. Have a, you know, even a short conversation with me tonight. The chat is great. Love it. That's what it's here for. But we want you guys to continue to try to take advantage of tonight, because tonight really is about you guys. So use the call-in links. Already got someone else getting in line tonight, so we'll get them in just a second. But, you know, take advantage of it while you got it. It's a great thing for everybody. All right, let's see here. We'll get our next caller in just a second. This is from Evan. Said Cam had 51 total, 30 passing, 20 rushing, 1 receiving thank you for the clarification there. That's a good one there. I think we covered the majority of everything else already on here. So let's go ahead and get our next caller in before we get too far behind. We got him in, had him in here before. Mr. Brian, what's going on, sir?
How are you doing, Kyle?
And you're War Eagle G27, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes.
right. I wanted to make sure I figured you'd bring up
I
these
decided
things.
I decided to put my name on there so
Yeah.
that you would know who I am, even
That's
though
okay.
I'm War Eagle G27. So,
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I just heard you and Kevin talking about all those basketball scores and football related stuff. Yeah, I hope we do beat Tennessee. I didn't watch the game for the Mississippi State game, but I watched a little bit of the highlight. But I was happy that we won. I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to pull out that first round to play for tomorrow. But I do hope we beat Tennessee. That way it can just make it a little bit more of a resume for
March Madness.
For Selection Sunday.
Yeah.
So that was great that they can be able to win first round. So
yeah, I mean, listen, sometimes it's just getting that first one out of the way because you never know what can that lead to. Here, I'll give you an example, and it's not the SEC tournament, but the 2019, Final Four team. They had a pretty rough first round game versus New Mexico State, nearly lost it, and then just went on a tear and probably should have been in the national championship game, but I digress. We won't bring up that old sore tonight.
No.
So you're right. Like, I think I 100% understand Auburn fans' trepidation about this first game and uncertainty about this team right now. They have not, through the month of February, and I think the one win came in March, given you a lot of reason to believe they can get this thing fixed. But you have to remember the whole story of this season. They are a much better team than they have shown in February. What was the problem? I mean, we can pinpoint a few
things. That's a big question mark.
Right. We can pinpoint like small things in small portions of time. Like for a while there, it was their turnovers. They got those corrected, but then it was they couldn't defend three-point shooting. They did a little bit better in that, and then it was just, whatever. Like they were finding people on their best days and playing against them those days. This team, unfortunately, no matter how this ends, I think will not go down fondly in a lot of people's minds, and I think that's a shame because I do think that this team has and still had more potential than they showed in this regular season. At least people what they'll remember it by. But I'm glad they got the first one. So I'm glad that I'm right there with you. Getting that first one.
Yeah,
huge,
I'm like, come on, just at least win because I didn't want them to be like, oh, you lost first round, now you're out. Now you got to sit and wait and figure out if you're in or you're out.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that we should be able to like win it all the way, but I'm saying like at least get this one, and that can put a little bit more resume than winning today's game.
Sure.
So I'm happy that he got his first SEC tournament as head coach now since.
Yep. So that would be his first one as SEC tournament head coach. And then there was some so there was this thing going around that he won before Bruce did in the SEC tournament. I was like, I think people got that mixed up.
That was Bruce. He was just on staff as their assistant.
Bruce, they were trying to say that Steven got an SEC tournament win as a head coach more quicker than Bruce did. I was like, no, Bruce's first team had that magical run to the semifinals where in the KT Harrell last second shot 3 thing that was just beautiful. So I think the point that was being made by some people is that of all of the criticism of Stephen Pearl, he's doing a lot of things that even his father wasn't able to do as quickly as in some areas. I think that's the point. And
yeah, I can see why you say that, like why they're saying that. So
yeah. What you think about tomorrow's game? You got a prediction, or like what about the score? Or how about this? Maybe not a score. What is your confidence level that Auburn can win or will win
if they can do all the things like making those free throws.
Mm-hmm.
What was it that the other one she said, like rebound? Was it rebound that you said earlier?
The big three: free throws, turnovers, rebounds. So they have to have to be more specific, 80% free throws, under double-digit turnovers and less than your opponent, and rebounds, out-rebounding them. Preferably you out-rebound them in offensive rebounding, but I just look at the whole picture of it because they're both important defensive and offensive reboundings. So that's a little bit more specificity of what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, if I can see them doing all those little things that they didn't do when they were doing all the big things on defense, they can, like if they did whatever they did today, if they can do that, but a little bit more, they can probably win.
Yeah.
But if they do that and a little bit less, they probably won't see the whatever the next event's game if they did win.
Sure.
So
yeah.
But
I mean, tomorrow's a must-win, regardless of whether you mean for March Madness, for the SEC tournament. It is a must-win in some way tomorrow, regardless of what the way you choose to look at it. So it couldn't be against a more appropriate opponent with Steven had been a former player there, and
that's kind of funny. He's like he did
funny.
that this past season, and now he's facing him again.
But it's a cool story and another motivation for the players to say we couldn't do it for him the first time this season.
Hopefully in this one, he can be able to say, no, you're not getting another chance this time. We'll take it this time.
That's right. But it's going to be fun. I think Auburn and Tennessee in basketball have become one of the greater little series because of Bruce and his connection back to them. But Stevens has that to some degree with them too. I just think it's been a good – people look forward to Auburn Tennessee basketball more often than they have in the past these days, and I like that about it. So to me, I'm happy to be matched up with Tennessee. Not that I think that's going to be an easy route or something like that. I think it's cool. Yeah. So,
yeah.
All right. You got a score prediction before we head out?
Let's see. What was today's score? Was it 88 to 70 something?
That sounds right. It was a 18-point win. So I think it.
Or 60 something. I knew Auburn won on 88. So
yeah,
that was
it was a significant win. So whatever you think on top of that.
I'm going to probably stick with that 88. If they can't do anything, if it's going to be so my highest would be 88. My lowest would probably be 67.
For Auburn?
Yeah.
So if they hit 88, you're saying they win?
If they hit 88, they win. Then that if I see that, then I'm really thumbs up.
Hey, I'll take that prediction.
If they do 67 and it end up 67, 63 or 67, 65 or 64 or something like that, it's going to be kind of.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna have to get into the 70s. I'm pretty sure of that. If it's a low scoring game, that doesn't tend to favor Auburn. That means their offense isn't rolling along. Well, I hope you get a chance to watch it tomorrow and cheer them on because we got a big one. So
yeah,
it's good to talk to you tonight, Brian, and we appreciate you calling in.
I hope you getting to feeling better soon.
Thank you. I very much appreciate that.
All right.
All right. Bye, Ryan. Good to see you. War Eagle. All right. 2 great callers already. Got a third one already lined up tonight. Y'all have answered the call, literally. So we'll get to you in just a second. So stand by and be ready to go in just a minute. Woo! I told y'all. It's going to be a struggle for me. but not as bad. Please tell me most of y'all at least stopped in on that Alabama show and watched how pitiful I looked on that. Like, I knew I looked pitiful, but I went back and watched that thing. I don't even know why I attempted it. It's because I love y'all. That's why. That's the only reason I would show up, to talk about that trash of a game, feeling that trashy. Let's see here. I see Micah's giving me some business about my body of work argument in there. That's just Micah, though. Let's see here. I'm going to roll back and see if we mentioned anything. Okay, Hunter, I don't think I ever answered your question. So let me go back to that. So Hunter asked earlier, and I think he wanted anybody else to answer that too. What is the most heartbreaking departure? Let me see if I can go all the way back and find it. Yeah, I may not be able to go back that far. It'll be kind of boring watching me do that. Who is the most like depressing or disappointing departure, even if you agree it was the right decision for that person to go and do something better for themselves, or to move, for Auburn or whatever. And he was talking about football. It's Bo Nix. That's it. I mean, like, if Bo Nix stays, I'm not saying everything's 100% better, but things are certainly a lot better. But we couldn't protect him. It didn't matter who was at quarterback. The offensive line couldn't protect him. So I'd say that when he asked that question, that's even before I got the clarification he just wanted football. Bo Nix is my answer. So if you all in the chat have an answer too, certainly feel free to pop in and give us that. Tim, War Eagle to you. Evan with a little bit of a prediction as well. This is from Aubinator. Joe Lunardi, one of the bracketologists. He said, even if we lose to Tennessee, we may still be in the field. So, yes, there is a chance for Auburn, even in a loss to Tennessee, to get there. I would not count on that, though. It's just so many things have to go right in Auburn's favor. You just need to worry about controlling your own fate at this point. And Joe is not part of the selection committee. He is just simply one of the experts out there that, studies these types of things. And so he seems to know a lot what he's talking about, but he can't be 100% correct in that. Yes, there's a lot of this. The bubble is not very strong this year. Thus was the perfect year for Auburn to be on the bubble, Let's see here. Where else am I? Let me make sure I got all that. Bo Nix. There you go. Everybody knew Bo Nix was the one that we talked about. All right. Let's get our next caller in here and say hello to him. You know him. You love him. Mr. Thomas Manville. What's going on, sir?
War Eagle, y'all. How y'all doing this evening?
I'm doing okay. I think everybody else is doing good. Hanging in there tonight. I'm not as pitiful as I was on Saturday, but we're here.
I missed you on Saturday, but I feel you on the itis, so to speak.
Well, I don't know what itis it was, but I don't want it anymore because it came out of nowhere and it hurt me. It hurt me real bad, and it hurt me worse than that game did. But
thank you, Mike. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Man, it was some kind of a stomach bug or something that ran through. It ran through work. It ran through the whole town. It ran through everybody at the house. It was awful, man. When you can take all the medicine you want, but you got to sit with a fever for 24 hours straight. That is not a good time.
Nope, not at all. But we're on the other end of it, and it's just the residual stuff now, which it's honestly more annoying because it's the voice stuff now that's affecting me more than anything. But that's just, y'all have to put up with it. I don't. I mean, I don't have to hear me coughing 1,000 times when I do content like this. But anyway, I'm assuming you want to talk about some basketball, but whatever, you take the floor. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, great win today by the guys. Bless you.
Thank you.
I was really, really nervous heading into this ball game today, and guys in the first half played pretty hard. They did, and I think the second half of that ball game, air conditioner just kicked on. The second half was great. They really, if you watched it from the whole broadcast, they had Stephen Pearl on there saying that today started a new season for the team. And it honestly kind of looked like it did. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pump all the sunshine as much as I want to, but
Yeah.
I think that they looked a whole lot better in that second half. My goodness, the fight, the physicality was great. I do wish Keyshawn Murphy would have kept those emotions a little bit more in check in the first half, but I like what he did with them in the second half. He came in there, he put a dunk on some people, he put a shot on some people. He played very well. We had a lot of guys that played very well today. Yeah. And I really hope that continues tomorrow with Tennessee. I can't give you a prediction. There's no week to week, we don't know what this team's going to do right now. We really don't. But I'm hopeful that they're seeing this as a great opportunity, a blank slate to write their story. And I want these kids to go out there and write their story. Mm-hmm. And I don't. You can look at stats and wins and losses, but today was a new day. It's absolutely a new day.
I want to give you a phrase here and see if you agree with me. And this is in relation to them looking different today. Does the term active hands ring does that ring anything to you today with the way they looked? Because that's what when I watched this team today, the term active hands, and I'm talking about in relation to defense. Would you agree with that, or did you see similar things or anything like that?
I would, absolutely. I think it today looked a little bit more like the win at Florida, if that makes sense to you.
Sure, yeah.
I think that defense smothering people at certain points. Now, Hubbard's a different animal than, say, a Thomas Howell at Florida. The way that we play defense at Florida, Hubbard you can't defend that dude the way that you do anybody else in college basketball. You just can't. But I think that we were able to limit him, and I think that was 100% instrumental in us getting this win today. We took their best player and basically cut him into thirds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you could make the case in the first game versus Mississippi State. It's not like there wasn't other contributors there, but if he has this type of game, Auburn wins most likely in that one, because I think they ended up winning by like 7 or 8 because of free throws at the end. But you don't score 46. You don't score 83. If you follow that story in an NBA that's everybody's talking about, you don't score 46, but once, maybe twice in your career if you play long enough. And it just happened to be against Auburn. Now, Auburn's responsibility falls on that they needed to play better 3-point defense and grips. But as you just said, there are certain players that you can play outstanding defense on and then even play double team defense, and they're still going to get their shot off because they're that quick, that's just their skill set, and still get their points. But you got to control them. And so to your point, yes, they controlled Josh Hubbard. He was still a factor, but he wasn't as big a factor. And unfortunately for Mississippi State, they're not a strong enough team when he doesn't do the exceptionally well stuff to overcome teams that are built much better than them. And Auburn, whether people agree with it or not, is. The result today speaks to that. And outside of a 46-point victory for them in Starkville, would have spoken to that time as well. So I don't think Mississippi State's a bad team. I just think they're a team that's built around one player. Auburn's not, but of course we probably would like to be built around one player that can just dominate, and have that consistency there. But it looked like it was going to be that year. It just hasn't maintained.
Yeah, I mean, if you follow the national media, we are built around one player, but that's not the case.
Right.
That's not the case. They want to make us out to be built around Jahad and Keyshawn, and we're not.
Right.
That's not what this year's Auburn team is. Not about those two guys. It's about the 5 that we put on the floor and what they're able to do together. I mean, look at Blake today. Blake was on fire. This kid has tried his damnedest, if I can say that.
Go ahead.
He is damnedest. He has done his best this season to impact this team. And we've watched it, and sometimes it's great, sometimes it's really not that great. But today, look at that. Boy, he was playing with his dadgum hair on fire.
Mm-hmm.
He had springs in his shoes. He defensively, go back and rewatch today's game. Watch Blake Mushalik. I always want to say Mushalik, but Mushalik. Watch him play defense. Watch him when that critical rebound that we got back that never hit the line. That was insane. That was good basketball. We've got pieces. We just don't have the puzzle yet.
Yeah. No, I think it's a fair assessment of this team is that the pieces are all there. They just never found the way for the puzzle to be complete for the whole season. They found a way to make it work early on, but a piece went missing here, and then the whole thing fell apart because you didn't set it up properly. And look, there may not be a way ultimately for this team to fully be a perfect picture of a complete puzzle, but there is a way that it has worked previously this year because we've seen it. They took Houston down to the wire. They beat Florida at their place. They beat St. John's. They beat Arkansas. They beat Kentucky. They beat other teams that they should have in the non-conference and to begin SEC play as well. But the puzzle stopped working for this very long stretch, the SEC, and gosh, it was frustrating. But as you said, to start off your call, new season, that's the way you approach it. And just because it's a new season doesn't mean there's sometimes not some carryover of the negative things, but that's if you approach it through that new season mentality, you're going to start kind of, okay, look, if this is a new season, by gosh, we're going to break this trend. We're not going to do the same things. We're going to figure out a way to overcome this deficit we built for ourselves, get our lead, and then when the opportunity comes at the end of the game, strike, put this away, and not even worry about this at the end. So I'm pleased with the team today in most facets of it. It wasn't like the entirety of the game was complete, boring, whatever, but I'm pretty happy with them today. So with that in mind, how are we feeling about tomorrow? I know you don't have a prediction, but just where are you sitting at with your feelings on it?
I'll get up real quick. You were talking about players missing.
Yeah.
There's significant injury and a significant infraction that is causing two people that could be major contributors to not be playing right now. All that aside, I was very, very, very excited to not see Tahad Pettiford under the rim playing defense today.
Yeah.
That made me so excited. And now, again, I am not an expert. I am a nerd. I am an Auburn nerd. I am a sports nerd. I'm not a tactician. I don't understand all of the ins and outs of why coaches call what they call. But I love not seeing Tahad Pettiford under the rim where somebody's throwing it to somebody who's 6'7", 6'9", and he's going, dang it. When I see Tahad Pettiford play in a basketball game going, dang it, dadgummit, oh, man, he's way taller than me. I don't understand that. If someone could explain it, great. You don't have to do it here. You can send me a DM down the road. That's fine. But if we let me choose words carefully. If we can build upon what we started in the beginning of the second half today, and we can continue that, I think we have a shot against Tennessee. I don't think anything right now is guaranteed at all.
Yeah.
I think that everything is built on hard work from the players and the coaches. They have got to figure this out right here, right now. If we want to, one, make the tournament, two, put on a good showing in the SEC tournament. We're kind of in a tough spot. We had a great non-conference. We got the toughest schedule in game. Had a great non-conference showing at the very beginning of the year. But what really matters is the conference play, and we kind of dropped the ball on that. So this is our opportunity at redemption to get to where we as Auburn fans think this team should be in the NCAA tournament. Now, and last week I was saying, we might get a game if we get two. I'm happy if we go out in the first round. I'm upset. I'm still there, but we've got to have a good showing in the SEC tournament to ensure that we can get to the big dance, the big hoopla. And then that's got to be a new season all over again.
Yep.
We've watched this team not really gel, and you watch players talking to each other, pointing at each other, and kind of giving each other direction of what they need to do on the court. We need to get to the point that that's fluid, that we're not that a player's not going, hey, give it to him, do this, do that. We need to be fluid if we're going to go deep into this tournament. And we have talent. We just don't have continuity. And that's frustrating.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, but also I think we saw some of that fluidity today. And here's a couple, at least one example that just popped into my mind. I understand that a lot of people think Keyshawn Hall is a ball hog, and I would probably agree with you in some sense of that. But I also believe that he's given the permission to be a ball hog sometimes. But what I saw from him several times today is making moves where he traditionally just crashes in and probably gets called for the foul, gets to go to the free throw. Instead, pull up and dump it down to at one time it was Filip Jovic, and just a little dump it over the top to him. And I think one maybe was even to Murphy twice, but I saw him do that a couple of times there, and he's done that before, but seeing that a couple of times, there were just some other occasions where I saw guys making the extra pass, looking for the other guys. It just today felt like when you talk about fluidity, there's trust built in fluidity amongst the team, right? And so it felt like there was a little bit more of that today, a little bit more of the we aspect than has been at times. And it's a good sign. If you're going to figure it out, this is the time to figure it out, because, hey, you ain't guaranteed tomorrow. And it is a must win in any sense of the word that you want to place it on. Final thoughts for you, sir.
I wish our Auburn men's basketball team the best of luck tomorrow. I wish them the best of luck always. Gymnastics team, I'm still so high on this gymnastics team. These girls are so good. If you follow gymnastics at all, and not me if you want to, gymnastics is one of the most physical sports out there. Mm-hmm. And these girls are so good, and they are the times that we don't crest that 198 just kind of, they irk me a little bit, but the judges are going to judge. They really are. But I really think that this is one of the best gymnastics squads we have ever had. These girls are so good.
Well, I love the shout out to the gymnastics team. And I think they are not getting appreciated as much as they need to be because of some of these scores. But as we kind of have been talking about with basketball, if you get hot at the right time and you've seen that the talent is there, hey, it all can come together at the right moment, at the right time. So love the shout out to gymnastics, because I think they do deserve a little bit more love this season and appreciation for them. And they got a huge blow with Sophia Bell getting injured too, and they still are finding ways to be competitive. So good shout out there as well, Mr. Manville. Thank you, sir, for calling in tonight. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
War Eagle, y'all.
War Eagle. All right, 3 great calls. 3. I think it's 3 so far. We can take another one if you'd like to give it a try tonight. So please take advantage of it if you've never done so. This is a great night to do that. Just call and say hello, goodbye, and give it a shot, and you just get the practice, the memory down on that. So we want these. My goal and my dream for these nights is where I just go from call to call to call to call. And those of you that continue to do that every night, I appreciate that very much. It encourages others to do so. So continue to do that. And frankly, y'all hear enough from me in all of our content that we do. And I appreciate that you are willing to come back and listen to me yammer on. But this is about you guys. So thank you all for your call so far. We'll leave the phone line open for a little bit more here to round out. We'll get back to some of your comments and questions here in the chat as we can, so keep them coming. But let me do a couple of reminders for you all about what we've got coming up for you next. I am still getting a little bit behind and kind of scheduling some things because of being so sick this weekend. Put one in the jar, whatever you want to say. But we will have an SEC tournament game tomorrow. Should Auburn win, we will do a post-game. We do a post-game show for that regardless. But if they were to win, we would do one the next day, depending upon what time that is. As long as Auburn wins, I don't have any conflicts that I know of to not continue to do those for you throughout the week, which would bring us to Sunday evening, which would be the Auburn Experience live podcast recording. So we'll do that one as well. Just as some tentative things to keep in mind, we are going to be doing a bracket challenge this year. In fact, I'll probably be getting that started to set up here and let early access in for our Conquer Club people. And I would highly encourage you just to go ahead and, when you get access, whether it's early access through the Conquer Club or when we start opening up, even if the brackets aren't available yet, just go ahead and sign up and get your fans and friendly signed up, because, you know, that'll give you a reminder to make your bracket in that. So we will have a prize for that again this year, which we'll be announcing very soon. And we'll be doing that as long as my voice continues to get better. We will do that full length stream of Pick 'em together. So we'll need all of you guys to show up for that one. And it's usually a wild night for that. So that looking forward to that too, as long as my voice can get better. Okay. Last thing here. I need to find a way to pull that off. There we go. Last call for calls and comments and questions. Let's get going here on Auburn Family Night, presented by Barner Supply. WT has called in before, and he should call in more often, especially with some of the quips he has in there. Micah has called in too before. They are rarities, but they're always treats when they call in, so I wish they would do it more. And Devin has a very busy life with her children and stuff, and she's always in the kitchen for some reason. I don't know. That's an inside joke here. But we have heard from her several times as well. Okay, let's get. Let me see. I'll get to that question here in a second. See if there's anything I missed while Thomas was talking. I think we brought this up earlier. Joe Lenardi now has us last four in. It shouldn't be a shock the way things are currently transpiring that he would trend that way. Can you build your starting five using only previous Auburn players? Also, who would be your sixth man? Okay, so I'm assuming this is basketball. And anybody in the chat, you feel free to participate as well. So if I could, I've been asked this previously. And you got a lot of choices, believe it or not. So if I could pick my starting five, and I guess you said I get a sixth man too. I'm going to start with my starting point guard of Doc Robinson from the 2000 team or late 90s 2000 team. Doc Robinson's my point guard. I would probably pick KT Harrell either as a shooting guard or a swing man. Probably KT. There's so many good choices out there. None of them are wrong. Jabari Jabari definitely is in there. And the problem is you've got a recency and history. You've got Charles. You've got Austin. Well, I mean, people wouldn't like Austin Wiley, but you've got Walker Kessler. You have got Janai Broom. I will probably pick a very heavy lineup and go Charles at the center, Janai at a stretch 4. I would go Jabari at a 3, KT Harrell and Doc Robinson. I could be convinced to move Bryce Brown and John Mingelt in there for guards as well. So I will say, because if I don't put Bryce Brown in there, people are going to riot. So I'm going to say he is my sixth man, which I would need. I'd need a guard sixth man because I'm so top heavy. So I'd take that over John Mingelt, frankly. And Bryce could run the point a little bit too. So even though he's mainly known as a shooter. So if you guys have opportunities or suggestions, drop them in here. We got Mr. Manville, Bryce, Doc, Walker, Chuma, Jabari, Chuck. All good choices. All good choices. So if you do not put Jalen as your sixth man, I will be disappointed. I love Jalen Williams with all my love and heart. Love Jalen Williams, but you're asking me to build the ultimate Auburn lineup. And there are so many great options. And Jalen would be on my team if I got more than that. But you're asking me to build a starting five and then the sixth person that comes in there to win a championship. Basically, I'm going to pick Charles, Janai, Jabari, KT Harrell, and Doc Robinson with Bryce Brown coming off the bench. But yeah, lineup or team? A lineup or team? I think it was team starting five. He said, yeah, starting five. Starting five. But he'd be on the team and he'd get to play too in that one. Teamwork does make the dream work. Thank you for the reminder there. Hunter says Walker Kessler at center, Janai at power forward, Jabari. I mean, we're pretty much the same for the most part there. Six-man Chuma. Yeah, listen, point guard, there's a lot more on there than you think there is. Have we done that one? No, we've done the Mount Rushmore of Auburn guard. You should go check that one out. Yeah, we do need to hear from you a little bit more here. WT wanted to shout out for the baseball team. Shout out for the baseball team. I do think we talked about them a little bit earlier, but it was briefly tonight. Let's see. Anything else? Last minute questions, comments, topics here. We're a little bit over time, but that's okay. But if there's anything else that we need to address before we get out of here, that was a good little final brain tease question there. You'd need to pick 12 to fill out a roster. I mean, yeah, you could build out an incredible roster from Auburn basketball players in a variety of ways. But I don't think there's going to be too many people that will have issue with my roster other than they're going to be unhappy that I put KT Harrell in there over Bryce Brown as a starting one for you. There's no way anyone could pick Broom over Barkley for the power forward. Barkley would be more of a center, and he played more of a traditional center with a round mound of rebound for Auburn at least. Depends on what type of power forward though you would want him to play. Because if you want to be an extremely large team and you want that type of power forward, I would go with Charles. But if you need an athletic power forward guy, yeah, then that's Janai. If I ordered a jersey, would you display it? Ordered you a jersey, would you display it in the background on your stream? That is very generous, Hunter. I cannot guarantee that I will be able to display anything. Here's the reason why. A, I'm about to change things around in here. B, to display things sometimes requires to put them in cases with glass. And as you can tell, that's always a challenge. That's the reason why I put those behind me, because you don't ever really see them and wonder about things like that. But there are other ways to display those things, but I don't know what type of room and things I could have. I've always done show and tells and stuff but do not bother yourself with buying me something. I appreciate the gesture. I just can't guarantee that would ever happen. Kessler was basically the Great Wall of China. Ain't nobody shooting over him. Jared, Tahad, Jabari, Broom, Barkley is a typo, and Bryce Brown. So Jared's going to be in there a lot too. Understandable that. All right, Evan, you've put it out into the world that you're going to call in. You got to do it now. I mean, it's really, listen, I've heard a lot of people say I'm going to call in and they just never do. And I'm not saying this to dog you anyway. I'm just saying, like, I get what the thing is behind it. It can be intimidating to hear your voice on there for the first time. It took me forever to do a YouTube thing because I hated the way I sound. And I know some of y'all do too. I had people tell me that. But yeah, just jump on in here. And it's not as scary as people think it is. You don't have to be on camera. A lot of people utilize the camera function. It can just be, you can turn the camera off and just talk in like a phone. Let's see here. On the subject of sponsors, How much would it take to have you display WT rules on your forehead thinking about a GoFundMe? WT, if we want to have, I know you're joking, but I would be willing to entertain writing many things on my forehead if somebody will pay what I need to make in a year to make this thing viable. Does it make sense? Like, to have a paycheck coming in for myself that is warranted. Does that, so we're talking substantial money, but I know it's a joke, but don't joke. I might be willing to entertain such things like that. This is from Devin. I will never forget that Kentucky game when Kessler laid that guard out because he wasn't paying attention and no one on the team called it out for him. Yeah. Oh, you're good, Evan. We're just making sure you feel, warranted here. You need a partnership with Barner Supply? Well, you got to do something to have a partnership with them. But Barner Supply, again, that's a great segue there, WT, so I'm going to utilize it. Please do check them out. I cannot speak highly enough of them. Matthew Hill, but he is one of the main guy, but I think there's a group of them, but behind Barner Supply, and they do some great products, not just hats, not just shirts, other things. They do a lot of custom work as well. So if you really want to kind of test their limits of design work and stuff too, they can do that for you. Our link should be available in the description for you. If it's not, and if you're having trouble accessing it, please let me know. If you'll shop with them or just go visit, check out their stuff. Let them know that we're a great partner for them as well. You can check them out. So Barner Supply is what I'm talking about. G27, that's our sponsor down there in the corner, and their hat I'm wearing tonight, that I believe in work, hard work. If you support them by, shopping with them, you support not only a great Auburn business, but you're supporting us as well. And that's all we can ask for, is supporting Auburn businesses. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Hunter. Appreciate that. Always appreciate it. WT says, I gave them the best idea for a logo ever. What else could they want? That's funny. It's not a bad idea. I haven't seen them do that one yet. Is that your child support? Micah thinks he's so funny sometimes. Mr. Manville, thank you for the super chat as well. That's very generous, sir. Is it like Alumni Hall? Not really the same thing. It's another apparel company. They don't have a physical store that you can walk in. They have an online store. So the link should be in our description here on YouTube. If it's not, you can DM me anywhere and I can get it to you. It's in our link tree if you go to that. And if you go visit all that stuff here, you know what I'm doing? I'm saying go to these things, and it should be there for you, but let me just pull that up for you now. I always typically have it ready. Barner Supply, there it is. Let me slide that right in there. You can click the link as you exit out today and go check them out. BarnerSupply.com. Other things you guys are asking is your link still valid on SeatGeek? I want to use it for Auburn versus Baylor. Yes. So if you go to SeatGeek and you use the code E2C Network, that should give you a little discount on your tickets. I think it is $20 off your first order. I say that because that's the legal phrasing behind how that works. If you've used it before, my understanding is it may not work again. You should still try. And if not, I think there are some creative ways around that. If you do some research, it's probably not the wise for me to say that, but here I am doing that. But yes, it should still be available. Let me know if you have trouble. You like the shirts? I don't know where I got it from, but I think it was Martin's actually in Decatur, Alabama. I think that's where this came from. Yes, they do have a good X account. They're very funny. Very funny. So use whatever you need to do, Hunter, whatever you need to do, just to make sure the code works for you. But appreciate you guys. Yeah. So once again, I put the link in there for you guys for Barner Supply. Please do go just visit around, check out that you're you're never going to be bored looking at what they kind of designs they have and stuff like that. If you like the hard work thing. The other thing, these should be in our description on YouTube as well. But what I'm sending you guys here is it's going to say all links. And I need to do a better job of putting this out at the end in the chat too. This is what's called a link tree. It's like a mini website. This has everything on it. If you need a social media account for us, it'll take you to that on there. If you need a how to get subscribed to our main podcast, that's on there. If you need our email, that's on there. If you need a access to Barner Supply, that's on there. We're an affiliate of Alumni Hall as well. Accessing their website through that and if you end up buying something there, it's the same type of thing there too. Other partnerships we have, things that we want you to know about, it's our mini website. So visit that and check it out. Excuse me. I'm a big Nike guy and still haven't bought any new Nike gear. Well, I'm not any apparel guy and I haven't bought any Nike gear. I just not that big into it. All right, y'all are keeping this thing going here. What was the media timeout early in the game? I think the score was 17-14. It seemed odd timing, no stoppage. I'm not really sure what that's referring to there, Micah. If somebody else knows, they can share it real quickly, but we're about to hop off here. How about Jackson Coiven? Yeah, Brian, he would have definitely brought it up tonight. You should be paying attention to Jackson Coiven in the men's golf. Folks, let me just make something very clear here as we exit tonight. I understand that two of your big three, football and men's basketball, have not lived up to thus far, your expectations yet this year. And I know that, trust me, as a content creator, we know that drives the traffic and doesn't drive the traffic when it's not going well. But that's kind of the point of why we exist. We are the Auburn experience. Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family. More than Auburn football, more than Auburn sports, more than just the culture, more than just the family. It's everything. And so when we say you need to be paying attention to things outside of that, I mean it with this spring. You've got a baseball team that is thus far living up to the hype. You have a women's tennis team that is poised to be competitive, potentially for a national title. You have a men's golf team that is very much in that same case, and an individual in Jackson Coiven who may win their version of the Heisman again. You have a men's track and women's track and field team too that has individuals there that could be winning SEC outdoor, SEC, and individual national titles, if not the team being very competitive at the end of the season. Two, softball has had some really great moments thus far too, and is looking pretty solid. There's a lot of reasons to be excited about what's going on in Auburn sports outside of the big two. One of the big three seems to be very strong, but it's a good spring, folks. So enjoy it while you got it. All right, last comments, and then we'll get out of here. I got rid of the Under Armour Auburn shirts. I'm interested in the new Nike polos. I haven't gotten rid of pretty much anything. I have to wear my things out before I get new things. Peaks and valleys, Kyle. If you can't be a fan in the bad times, you don't deserve to be a fan in the good times. Oh, Dalton, we're literally about to cut the thing off, man. But we're glad we got to see you and let you check in from Noonan. This is from Micah. I know some of y'all are baseball people, but for those of us who aren't, I love this time of year, but hate it as it's about to come into a lull. Yeah, and I understand that, but this is a great time to, get into something new. So give it a try. All right, guys. And I didn't even mention equestrian as well. So all kinds of stuff. Thank you guys for being here. I got to go rest the voice. We got a post-game show to do tomorrow, win or lose. Auburn versus Tennessee. Hope y'all watch it. Hope to see you tomorrow right after the game. Thank you guys for being here and being part of our little family within the Auburn family. As we go, I remind you, the Auburn Creed asks you to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God. We will ask you to do the same thing. War Eagle.